welcome, Saya.
Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Yeah.
This is the second podcast we've done together, isn't it?
I know.
Different brand, different angle, but now you're on Provocateurs.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. And we've known each other for what, over a decade?
I can't believe it, actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, time absolutely flies. And it's fascinating how our worlds have kind of coincided in different places, because you were doing something completely different, weren't you, a decade ago?
I was. Yeah, universe works in a weird and wonderful way. Yeah, I totally agree. I was thinking about it the other day, and it is about a decade when we met in that networking event.
Yeah.
And I was there with different business hat on. And yeah, still we kind of keep on meeting each other every year. Yeah, I think we were meant to work together. Or see each other anyway.
Absolutely. And so what has your journey been like over the last decade? Because you were businesswoman, you're still businesswoman.
Yes.
Or business person. And then you are now a DJ, you've got your own radio show. You're just all over the world, booked out at every festival and event I see.
Not every yet, but yeah, I do a lot, which I like.
Yeah.
I like to be active. But yeah, so still in the business world, obviously music business is business. And still doing my digital marketing business as well. But yeah, since 10 years ago when we met, I ventured into the world of DJing. I love radio, broadcasting. So I do have my radio show at Select Radio on a weekly basis. And I do music production as well. So yeah, very fully immersed in music, which it's always been my passion.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be involved more than going to the parties,
Yeah.
So I guess I found my way to really be immersed in it, other than just be kind of dancing in the festivals. So
How did you do that? How did you turn a passion into where you are now, getting booked out and touring the world?
Grafting, hard work. You see in social media, it all looks glamorous and you're wearing makeup and nice outfits and you're DJing and having fun and smile, smile, smile. But actually it is hard work. But I love it because if it's your passion, you will make it happen. But you do have to put the hours in. So I've gone back to school to learn DJing with London Sound Academy. And then I went to learn production in Hertfordshire College of Music. And at the moment, I'm on my last term of radio broadcasting at Point Blank Music School in London.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
So you actually fully immersed yourself back in studying?
Yeah. Well, no, I still work, obviously. So somehow I kind of balance it all out. I don't balance it. I just fit it in and cut from the rest, I suppose.
And how did you go about getting bookings? Was that through networking and from you having been out in parties already?
Yeah, networking is very important. Obviously, just go to festivals that you want to play in, speak to people, open your mouth, tell them what you want, what you're looking for. Obviously, social media is a great marketing tool. So I think I'm posting every day, maybe a few times a day.
You are super active.
Yeah, and then just using every single tool I know, email people, I call people, not too much, I know people don't like to call each other anymore. We don't like to talk to each other anymore, except us two. But yeah, make yourself known. Obviously, the more you gig, the more awareness you get, the more visibility you get. You never know who is in the audience, no matter how big the gig is or how small the gig is, because I know there's a lot of DJs like, I don't want to gig in this pub or, kind of we are judging easily the importance of a gig by the size of it. So you never know. I've got so many gigs because I've done my evenings gigging in pubs, for example, and there is a big festival promoter having a pint, so
Amazing.
so you never know where the next big booking will come from.
And I guess that's the good thing about our industry, isn't it? Like I've always found, having been in it for 17 years, it's so face-to-face and it's so relational.
Yes.
And it's about being in the room a lot of the time.
It is. I absolutely agree. Like physical networking, it's like you have to put effort into it. Like I love to do it, you love to do it.
Yeah.
You name a conference, we are there, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes you might feel like, oh, that's such an effort. I'll just send an email. I'll reach out in social media. I'll send a message in Facebook. But you know what? That's very cold. There's probably a million messages in that particular inbox. You can't show your character or what you can do. You know, you can't, like you say, you can't relate to that person. You can't smile in an email, or you can't smile in a message that is based on text, or they can't even hear how you sound. And, you know, so face to face, absolutely. So you have to put that physical effort in for sure.
And have you got a manager, or are you kind of self
No,
promoting
it's
at the
me.
moment and booking? Amazing.
Yeah, I'm
wow.
my own manager.
So how do you balance that, the kind of managerial side of dealing with your bookings, and then actually, you know, getting in, like better at your craft?
I follow a lot of DJs, producers, obviously radio broadcasters that I would like to be like, or that my career, I would like to see my career as being like. Obviously, I want to kind of be unique and do my own thing. But yeah, so managing, that is a full-time job as well, so that I don't miss anything. Calendar, if I didn't have a calendar, I don't know where, I wouldn't be here today, probably. Calendar notes, I sent myself emails, believe it or not. And yeah, you just have to be super organized, to be honest. I check my calendar every night before I go to bed, like what's coming up tomorrow, what's coming up the next day. I even prepare my clothes that I'm going to wear, like these that I'm wearing today. I prepared yesterday evening before I went to bed. So I'm like ready to go.
Yeah.
I know my schedule. I've planned my journey. I have everything ready for the next day. So yeah, just being super, super organized.
Yeah, amazing. And in terms of like DJing, how do you continuously get better?
Obviously, I've gone to school to learn more and improve myself and get inspiration. I follow, like I mentioned, I follow a lot of DJs in their social media. I go to gigs. I watch them, you know, not in a weird way, but I observe them. I listen to them. I listen to their sets. So I learn. I try to learn constantly from them who I deem to be better than me. I listen to their Mixcloud mixes, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So trying to absorb not only information and learnings in school, but actually from fellow DJs at gigs and different festivals. And yeah, so I don't just go to, if I have a booking at a festival, for example, I don't just go and do my set. I will observe and listen to other DJs as well, support them obviously, but also learn from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about this before, about the whole concept of female DJ.
Yeah, but don't call me that. I'm a DJ.
Yeah. So, okay, talk to me about this. Is this something that's happening in the industry? Like I was saying, we're looking for a female DJ. Are you approached in that way? What do you do when that happens?
Oh my God, I roll my eyes.
Yeah.
I hate it. Absolutely hate the word female DJ. It is very prominent and unfortunately it's still in the industry. I hope we can kind of eradicate it because at the end of the day, we are all DJs. We are doing this job. We are taking it very seriously. I certainly am. So I don't want to be labeled female DJ just because I'm a female,
Yeah.
you know. I am a DJ and that's a fact. Why make a big fuss of me being a female DJ? Does it come with other things, other considerations? Like why do I have to be labeled like that? Have you heard of male DJ?
No.
No, you've heard of DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can we keep it that way?
Yeah. And why do you think they're kind of branding it like that or approaching you in that way? Do you think there's like a quota of the mix of DJs they need to have on board, or?
Yeah, I think there's still, obviously, the industry in terms of DJing has been very male dominated and it still is. But I don't think it helps to label the females that want to come and make a change and want to equalize the industry and be a role model for the next wave of amazing male DJs and female DJs. But I think because it's been so male dominated and somehow stereotypical to only males, we kind of see it as an anomaly or some kind of seventh, eighth world wonder that there's a DJ that is a female, so we have to call it female DJ. This is something out of this world, but it's not. It should be normalized. It should be normal, especially now. It's 2025. There's loads of amazing DJs, and lots of them are women. So let's not make a big fuss about the gender. Let's just look up to DJs and make ourselves better and work together and be equal in what we do, and be good role models no matter what.
Yeah. As a woman, though, do you think you have had experiences that men haven't in the industry?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we are treated differently. I don't think the treatment is the same yet. We haven't got to that stage yet. Personally, and I'm sure there are other stories, but personally, I've had experiences where a male would, for example, come to the DJ booth and think it's okay to ask if I need help or if it's okay to come and hug me or grab me and I'm thinking, I don't think you would do that to the male DJ. Yeah. For sure you wouldn't. But somehow you think you're allowed to do that because I'm a female. But why do you think I need help, or why do you think I need a hug? I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or, there's this, it's frustrating as well. I've heard, and I think I have potentially experienced it as well, kind of, I want to be booked for my talent, and I do believe I am. But sometimes I feel like within the industry, it's almost like promoters are thinking, well, we need to have that female in the lineup, so we cover our asses kind of thing, that there's the female. So, the audience or, media outlets don't go crazy, or the feminist groups don't go mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not the way to approach it. There are amazing, kick-ass female DJs there that you can book for their raw talent, not because, we need to fill a quota.
Yeah. And
so the mindset needs to change.
Yeah. And have you experienced that? Like, has anyone actively said that to you?
No, I don't think they dare to say that.
Yeah. It's real. I mean, it's honest. If people are going to say it, it's like...
Yeah, if please be honest with me. But I hope I would have been booked for my talent. But I know it's there and it's not talked about enough. And I hope we can just eradicate that kind of thinking as well.
Yeah.
Because there are so many females. So why are you so scared to book the females? Like, what is it? I don't know. It's strange.
Sometimes I often wonder, it's like, do we make it a bigger deal as women than it actually is? Like, do we create that? Are people actually thinking that? Like, are they really honest? Are promoters honest with that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think this is... Like, I do believe I'm booked for my talent. I do honestly believe that, but it's because there's so much out there. There's no smoke without fire. How does it go? Is that?
Yes.
I think that way.
Does the smoke come from the fire? Yeah, that way
Chicken
round.
egg. So if there's so much talk about it,
Yeah.
I'm sure it exists as well. So... But I wish we didn't make a big deal out of it, and we would just go based on raw talent and not think, okay, I need to book a female because I might be otherwise crucified by, media or social media or whatnot. Just book a balanced lineup. It's as simple as that. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Book a balanced lineup, and there is super good talent out there from both genders.
Yeah. And in terms of being in the nightlife industry, obviously there's lots that have gone around in the, particularly the UK news, I'd say over the last couple of years, around sexual assault and sexualization within the nightlife industry. Do you think it is more prevalent in our industry than it is in others?
Yeah, probably more opportunities in the nightclub than in the office kind of thing, because there's alcohol involved, there's drugs, and then you're in these dark corners and people kind of behave a little bit differently to what they would behave in the office next to the coffee machine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think unfortunately it's more possible that music industry has those incidents. But now that there's more talk about it, awareness about it, hopefully we will make a big change, and there's kind of support, or there's policies and procedures being implemented in clubs and venues and festivals and so forth to make sure that everybody is in a safe space and feel secure and so forth. And it's so important, because otherwise people will, or women might stop coming to events and be scared about, we don't want this. Music is about having fun. Raving is about having fun, being together, no matter what gender, again. So we shouldn't think when we leave the house that, oh, will I be raped today? I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So I think there's more to be, there's more being done about it. And I think talking about it is good as well. So then other venues can be implementing, like the Angela initiative. And I think there's one for males as well, it's not just for women. Is it Fred or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, so there's more being done about it. So hopefully whoever was planning to do something naughty will not do it. And let's just have fun as human beings. Let's go back to fun.
Yeah, and I think our space is all about connection. You know, the festival, the nightlife scene, we're all about human connection and facilitating those spaces. Exactly. And I hate to think that overemphasis on that thing destroys the natural ability to connect. Because I think that's the downside of, a lot of this discussion. When there are instances that happen, it does. And there is maybe more prevalence in our space. But do we destroy that ability of natural, I find you attractive, and
me, I like to talk to everyone. I think you like as well. We are talkative people. Yeah. So I like to go to festivals and talk random people. I think it's amazing.
Me too.
Make new friends. You never know. This is how we met pretty much, and here we are 10 years later. So I wouldn't like to think that if I go somewhere, I suddenly have to be aware of, if I talk to someone, I'm going to be seen as dangerous or some weird person or a stalker, a potential, threat.
Yeah.
That would be horrible, because that's not what it's all about. Like you say, rave culture, festival culture, going dancing, it's all about that unity, partying together and making lifelong friends there on the dance floor.
And not having to overthink everything in every move. Yeah. If somebody reaches out on the dance floor and gives you a hug, or, now I find people excuse themselves. Yeah. I was at an event on Saturday and it was I'm not being pervy. I really think you guys
give me the hug.
And you're just it's okay. Or I'm not trying it with you, but I just really want to get you guys a drink because you guys have just been brightening up my night with your dancing. And, there was such a guarded way of that thing. And I was it's unnatural.
It is unnatural. It is. And you're right. Just give me a hug and it's lovely, surprise. And it's one of those things that you get excited about. And, we don't want to lose that.
No.
I think actually in one festival, one guy wanted to give me a hug, and then he had this big inflatable banana and he was like, would you mind dancing with him too and give him a hug? And I was like, yes. And that wasn't weird at all.
No, but the most randomest, funny, connecting moments.
And then you have those stories.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to tell a story while I'm like, okay, after 5 security questions, I could do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Or can I ask for consent for you to hold my banana?
I'm going to hold your banana.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, inflatable. Is that better or not? Who knows? But what are some of the things that people didn't prepare you for going into the nightlife and festival industry?
Goodness me. Oh, probably, I did. I mean, I always was a raver anyway. Mm-hmm. So I've always been in the nightlife. But now DJing, radio, and trying to fit it all in with production, school, and family life, and then business, all of that is, the schedule is I don't have like volatile times of day to be awake and to sleep. Like my body clock has, it's just had to get used to completely different pace, but pace that changes constantly.
Of course.
If you know what I mean. So yeah, I've had to get used to that, like when to sleep or, be able to fall asleep during the day when I need to.
Yeah.
And then wake up at night, because brains are not designed that way.
Yeah.
When there's no daylight, your hormones tell you to sleep. When there's daylight, it tells you to wake up. But then I'm like, okay, but I have to wake up at 11 so that I can go and do my set at 3 a.m. or whatever. And body does need sleep. So yeah, I've needed to kind of adjust to that kind of rhythm. And I think I have now, but in the beginning I was like, shattered while I was adjusting to that kind of volatility in terms of going against the natural body rhythm.
Yeah, and you've always been a grafter, because I remember when we met like a decade ago and you'd come... had you recently come to the UK then, or what was your journey to the UK?
No, I think, it was, I came like a decade before that. Yeah. I've been here like 20 years.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Wow. And I always remember you telling me that story about when you were working in corporate, or you were doing a corporate presentation.
Yeah.
And you just had your daughter.
Yes.
Can you please tell me that one again?
Oh my God, yeah, I know it's a popular story because people actually don't believe it's true. But it is true, because you can ask the receptionist who was helping me. She was my accomplice on that one. Yeah, so I was a new mom. But I've always been career driven, and I always been a grafter, like you say, and I love working and a little bit of a workaholic here. So, but I have my daughter, and I was like, but I don't want to be, I didn't want the kind of socket to be pulled off or plug to be pulled off, so to speak. And so I started my own company, doing the same thing that I was doing previously in media agencies. But I was on maternity, which means, you should be looking after your baby and take it easy, you know what I mean? But I didn't want to take it easy. I was still looking after my baby. But I thought, so what's stopping me from being a business person, but obviously being a new mom as well? Like, why do I have to stop? Nothing, as long as the baby is fine, I'm looking after her needs are met. What stops me from going to meetings and doing business and earning money and, feeling good about it? Anyway, so yes, I was invited to pitch for a business in London, in the central big offices and everything. And I don't have, at that time anyway, well, my family's in Finland and Sweden and, I don't have that much support. And at that time, especially when it was the baby phase kind of, she was literally just a few months old. And so I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to take her with me to the meeting. It shouldn't be a problem. But then this one entrepreneur friend of mine, a male one, said that, it's a no-no, like you can't go there with the baby. They are not going to take you seriously. You're not going to win that business. You know what I mean? And another challenge we are facing as females, I suppose. Anyway, so I thought, okay, fine. I need to take my baby. So I need to think what to do. I need to hide her somewhere. Right. So I went there like an hour, maybe 40 minutes before the meeting started. I went to the building and found the meeting room where we are. There was a big conference table there. And there was a lot of space underneath the conference table. Yeah, and the receptionist let me in. I can't remember her name, but thank you so much for kind of covering my story. Anyway, and I just fed Naomi, my daughter. So I knew she was going to sleep like an hour, maybe 2 hours, after that. So I took her out of the buggy, put her in the little cot or whatever it's called, and hit the buggy around the corner. And I just put her underneath the conference table to sleep, underneath this blanket. Don't worry, it was like, she can breathe. And then I was there, the first one. I said, hi. I came early, so I thought I would seat myself and get ready and stuff like that. A receptionist let me in, and they just came, sat down. Nobody, I swear, nobody knew. And I was sweating, scared that Naomi would start crying, but she, thank universe, she didn't. And I did my presentation. Nobody knew she was under the table the whole time. And then at the end, I said, I'm just going to, take my laptop and take a few more notes. So can I just stay for another 15 minutes? And, thank you so much for being here and everything. And they said, yeah, no problem. Take your time. So I stayed there. Then obviously got Naomi out. She was still sleeping, put her in the buggy and went home. And I won that business.
And you won the business?
Yes.
I love this. Honestly, I love this.
And Naomi doesn't know any better. When I tell her the story, she's like, oh, really? That's so cool. I'm like, yeah, mama is cool.
Innovative, like absolutely out of the box, And do you think those struggles, I mean, obviously it's a big topic, isn't it? Do those struggles still exist in the same capacity for women today? Do you think that would happen now?
When the baby is frowned upon.
Like if someone came with their baby, what do you think?
I think, unfortunately, I would. I don't think we've moved on so much, to be honest. Unfortunately, I think it's not. It's like, well, mom and baby, they belong at home, I know there's like bigger companies, so maybe we have evolved a little bit, because I know bigger companies, they might have like a crash service. So we are getting there. I'm sure there must be development in the last decade. There must be. But I still think there's a label there. It's like, well, you're a mom, you're distracted, you have the baby there. How can you look after our account, or, how can you look after our business if the baby is there distracted? I think there is still that. Yeah. So we have a way to go.
And in our industry as well, like the more people I sort of speak to who, I'm 30, how old am I now? 36, don't have children. I'm at that place where I'm like, do I want them? Got to decide, really. At this sort of age, you've got to know where you're going.
But you shouldn't have to decide if it's career or child.
No.
It should be okay to have both.
100%.
It should be if I want a child or if I don't. That's simple, but not at the cost of your career.
No, I agree. And I know I would definitely not, because I know myself. I can't not be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. But as I speak to more women, speak to people who are maybe DJs or in that nightlife scene, it's actually a lifestyle choice as well.
Yeah.
How have you balanced it now? Like, obviously I know your daughter's older, but how is that, has there been any negative impacts on being a mum that you've had to consider and navigate and move around with the timings and way that your schedule works?
Yeah, a lot of planning in terms of my gigging schedule. So a lot of like favors from friends and family. Thank you so much. And a partner, and so it's lots more planning than if I didn't have my child, obviously. But I just have to make it work, and so far it's worked. And you just have to be, again, I go back to being super organized and planned out. This weekend I have gigs, so I've already planned my daughter's weekend, and what's her schedule. I make sure that she's happy, entertained, and then I can go and do my gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible. It's just the way you've got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it can't be like, I can't really do the spontaneous gigs.
Yeah.
Really like a couple hours before or something like that, so that ship has kind of sailed for me.
Yeah.
So I need some time to plan. Yeah.
And if people know that about you in the industry, then that's how they'll book you.
Yeah. So like emergency covers, for example, if it would be like, I can't do that. But planning is key.
Yeah. Awesome. I want to talk a little bit about the UK and just like the UK nightlife scene and festival scene in general. So you've obviously been here for 2 decades. How have you seen it change overall? And have you seen it change?
Yeah, I think lots has changed after pandemic. So unfortunately, a lot of people have decided to have garden parties rather than come out. I mean, people still come out, and I hope they will do. I know there's cost of living crisis and whatnot, but I do think that less people, and there's more competition as well. But I do think that people are easily stay at home rather than come out as much as they did before pandemic. So it's kind of some kind of breaking point, the pandemic, like life before pandemic and life after pandemic in terms of going out and so many other things. But people have found that this kitchen raving, which goes a lot, around a lot, cheaper, and, I'm sure it's fun, but like we talked about before, the social element is not there. I am scared that people are, and the next generation, because obviously we are role models for the next generation of ravers and the ones who will go to the festival and, dance with each other and create those lifelong friendships. You never know. So they are becoming a little bit anti-social, by just staying in their own little bubble at home. So come out, come back out.
I call it like those COVID kids that were 18 or whatever at the time. I think this year, what I've seen from being in the industry, the freshers was better than it has been since COVID. So I wonder, and I'm hopeful that it will change. Yeah. And that trajectory of like the next generation coming out who weren't 18 when COVID was happening actually will go out. Yes. But we've got to create new experiences, and I think there's got to be continuous innovation in our industry to actually give people an experience to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And bring back the importance of being present, being present at events, not just online. Yeah, I think pandemic just, suddenly there was the streaming, and, you could be at a festival just by sitting in your living room because you can stream the festival, or you can pay for it and you can go and view it via your TV or computer or mobile or what have you. But that's not social. Yeah. It's really not. So, I think we need to bring people back together and not live in this online world. Yeah. It's not real.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And behind the scenes in the music industry, what would you say is something toxic about the industry that people just don't talk about?
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of, there is. And it's the game that we have to play, isn't it? I keep on hearing that. And I wish it wasn't toxic in the music industry. I mean, that's a very big question. But, there is a game to be played in terms of promotion, getting gigs even, which is shame. I wish the industry, like I mentioned before, would be equal opportunity for everyone based on talent, activity, readiness, grafting, passion, effort, all of that. But it's not the case always anyway. Sometimes it's about who you know, the connections you have. So yes, do networking if that's the game you have to play. Supporting each other. Even that is not always real. One thing that I find quite annoying is the world of social media, which is not real. Okay, it's very important for your marketing, advertising, promoting yourself. So it has so many roles, social media. But sometimes when it comes to support, for example, in the music industry, there's a lot of people or groups that say, we support you and we want to lift you up. We support each other. We empower each other. But when it comes to, I believe in action over words. And when it comes to it, actually, physically, the support is not there. Yeah. So somehow some people or groups, they want to kind of perhaps create this image in social media that we are so supportive and we are all about this and that and the other, when in reality you're not executing it. Yeah. And that frustrates me a lot.
And I think support, actually, a lot of it has to be capacity. Like you have to be really careful with saying, we collaborate, we support each other. Because if you don't have the capacity, because you're actually really busy, you're booked out, you don't have time to connect people to the next person, then don't say it.
Don't say it. Exactly. This is what I mean. Don't say it. Or be honest about it.
Or say my intention is to collaborate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some, like, I know, like, I've in seasons of business when, like, say, like COVID, coming out of COVID, like, we were all, when's it going to open? When's it going to happen? You know, and we were probably a lot more collaborative then. I know, like, now with my team, like, we'll help people for sure when we can. We'll give that lead. But we're really busy. This is a really busy year of growth, and we have to be really realistic with our partners, with things that we do, with just, it's not that our intent isn't there. This is just seasonally and cyclically where we're at strategically, we're at capacity.
Exactly.
There's only so much we can do.
Yes.
And I've watched myself even like drop the ball on, like I've started a conversation with someone, like, yeah, I can definitely hook you up. And then I'm going, oh,
and then
shit,
it's not
I've forgotten.
And then it's not,
Yeah.
and then that's not actually good support anymore.
No.
So it's better to be honest,
Yes.
to say, okay, I have capacity of helping 5 people in this quarter, and I'm gonna, almost like apprentice, you know. I will,
and execute it to the end.
Exactly.
Rather than just these little drops of,
and then I take on the next, 5 or, whatever it is. But transparency, honesty is so important, and nothing wrong with it. You don't have to change the world and everybody at once. One person at a time, you can help. That's amazing.
And it's managing people's expectations and being realistic with your own. Because I know, like, in seasons of, like, our industry, I mean, I'm sure it's the same in others, but like our industry, like, it's tiring, when you're at the event, when you're doing that thing, it can easily, like, we all know we're built on connection, but can easily just slip through the net,
Yeah.
So definitely managing expectations, I think, with collaboration.
Exactly. Just like you say, managing expectations and kind of maybe laying almost like a process. I know it sounds lame and boring. We want to just be excited and help everyone.
Yeah.
But it's just, it can become hot air. So it's good.
And then you're not trusted as much, are you?
Yeah, then you don't want that. You don't want people to go around saying, well, she said she will help me, but it's tumbleweed.
Yeah. I'm also a firm believer, and I saw this because we started growing in Dubai last year. We've been there for about a year and a half now. But I really believe in giving people kickbacks. Actually financially remunerating people for introductions and setting up a structure within your business or, if you're a single sole entrepreneur, doing that because I don't know, I think it's how business works. A lot of our business is colloquial handshakes and thank yous.
Yeah.
But I think it just honors people's time in the same way.
Yeah. And then also, yes, we want to help people. But we can only take on so much.
Yeah.
But then people who need to be helped, they need to manage their own expectations and be respectful of that person who's willing to help you.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient. Patience is a virtue because, yes, we want so much and we're so excited and we want everything yesterday. Mm-hmm. But you have to be kind of, if somebody wants to help you and is ready to help you and million others would be there to be helped as well, then we have to be respectful to each other in terms of time because time, it's on a card. How do you say it?
Yeah. It's the most valuable asset,
isn't it?
it
is. So patience and trust the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with UK culture, is there any trends in DJ culture right now that you just can't stand?
DJ culture? Oh, I'm quite happy at the moment. I'm not really annoyed at anything right now. I'm just I'm in a place where I get to do my own thing and I'm really grateful for that. So I haven't needed to do something I didn't like, do like play a genre I didn't like or something, or so I've got to kind of execute my own sound and things like that.
And has it always been like that for you?
No, not when I started, obviously, because I was playing, playing the long pub, club, bar gigs, 6 hours, 7 hours. I can't just play house, people would be like, what is this? You can't, you have to throw in R&B and hip hop and garage and a little bit of 90s and 80s.
Get the CDs out.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, so it's a process. So And I knew I would have to put the work in to be seen and heard. And then when the time is right, I would be like, actually, this is my sound. This is what I really want to do. These are the kind of gigs I want to do because they are catered for my sound. And then we come to the networking. Then I would approach people or promoters or attend events that represent me as a music professional.
Yeah. And were you always clear on what you wanted to bring to the marketplace? You were always clear on your genre, clear on your sound, or has that developed over time?
No, I was pretty clear always. Yeah. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I was pretty, that's uplifting, vocal house. Yeah, I think my sound has developed, of course, but it hasn't changed in general, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
So it's always uplifting. So I haven't suddenly gone from uplifting vocal house to like
underground
dark techno, So
I love that. Yeah. And has there ever been any gigs where you've had to compromise on any of your values or the things that you really stand for?
One gig I had to pee in the corner of a DJ booth because they said you don't have time to go to toilet.
Whoa.
You cannot leave the booth. So I was like, all values, my dignity went out of the window.
I've never heard such a thing.
Yep. It happened. Yeah, they were like, no. I was like, I can put like a record is 7 minutes long. Certainly there's like a staff toilet. And they were like, no, there isn't. And you have to go to the ladies' toilet, which is on the 3rd floor. There's nowhere you can go. Just pee in the corner. Other DJs do it too. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
What did they give you to pee in?
No, nothing. They're like literally in the
corner.
Like
on the floor?
No, well, it was like concrete floor. So it wasn't, thank God, it wasn't like, nice wooden floor. Yeah. And oh my God, I still have nightmares. I'm in therapy.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, believe it. Yeah. So I had to sacrifice kind of that because I was like, I'm not going to piss myself.
No. That's mad.
Yeah. I didn't get paid enough to do that.
Surely something else has happened like that. Surely you've had a customer do something or...
Oh, yeah. Of course, I've had boys coming to the booth to hug me and things like that where I'm like, this is my office.
Yeah.
Knock first and then if I let you in, I'll let you in, but it's on my terms.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's loads of those, people come to me to say, play something good. I have a record called that, so I usually play that. And just funny things. I just take it as entertainment, can't please them all.
Yeah.
Or people might think you're their property and you're not. You're there to do a job. I am there to make people happy, make people dance. But then, there's these funny moments, but I don't kind of take them too seriously. They haven't been like assaults or anything like that, thank goodness. So I just kind of, just take it as entertainment.
Yeah.
People are intoxicated or they don't. They probably wouldn't do that sober. Some of the things maybe. Well, you never know, but
Maybe we just use alcohol as an excuse.
It might be. Yeah, a lot of bravery out there.
Exactly. Yeah. And how do you think people perceive DJs?
Yeah,
and that world of DJing.
Well, nowadays I think it's like the superstar DJ.
Yeah.
I don't really like that word because, as I said, I just want to make people happy. I want to make them dance and have a bloody good night and talk about it for weeks to come and say, you know what, money well spent. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not all about, look at me, I need to be on a spotlight. I don't need to. Like, I was talking about this to one of my DJ colleagues the other day. Like, I wouldn't mind if it was like, The Voice? Is that the program where you sing behind the curtain? I wouldn't mind if I was behind the curtain. Like, I don't want the reaction to be different because it's me who you are seeing playing the records. I want you to focus on the music. I don't want you to focus on me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or because there's a male or there's a female or there's, David Guetta or there's Saya. you know.
Yeah.
But if we are with David, we are behind a curtain. Yeah, I would be interested to see the reactions, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, there's a lot of talk, isn't there, around...
I'm not comparing myself to him, but you know what I mean. Just the idea.
Do it. Compare yourself to him.
Just the kind of, I'm just
Yeah.
painting the picture, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of, you know, more recent talk, like Netflix documentary stuff in the industry around DJs and mental health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how do you have anything to say on that topic? I know it's a
Yeah.
broad question.
I think it's so good that we are talking about it because DJing as a career can be very, obviously, like I mentioned earlier about, you know, the volatile hours, sleep patterns can be out of the window, you're fighting against your body clock, a lot of stress, a lot of pressure to get from gig to another, planning, preparing. Like people don't understand how much goes into the set before I do the set. You know,
Yeah.
planning the music, doing your homework on the event, the audience, where it is, planning your logistics, how to get there, how to get away. Do I have to get a hotel? Do I have to get the train, plane? How much does it cost? Am I covered? All of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's there. And then you're quite alone, to be honest. You know, you are your business, you know, unless you are part of a DJ duo or something like that, you're usually traveling on your own, making your own plans. Or like me, if I don't have a manager who comes with me, I don't have a manager at all. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure there and expectation, superstar DJ, people, you have to look good. You have to think what you're wearing. You're not behind that curtain,
Yeah.
you know, you are not. So there's so many elements to think about. So mental health easily can crumble,
Yeah.
not only because you are under pressure. No, you are still doing what you love. That's your passion. But you know, when you're tired and you have to travel and then you have a gig, you know you don't have time to sleep and you have to give it your all, that energy, that happiness, the smiles. You're almost, you know, sometimes it's like that. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes you have those gigs. So it's a lot to be put on one person. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you do have to take care of yourself or the body will tell you so. It will, you know, it will cut the game.
Yeah. And I guess in our industry too, there's a lot more exposure or possibility of drug taking or drinking alcohol or any use of substance to support that lifestyle.
Survival.
And survive, yeah. Actually stay awake.
Yeah.
You know, and keep the party going and keep your vibe live.
Yeah.
I mean, and that naturally over time may also impact your mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, these are chemicals that do not belong in your body. And then it's just false energy if you take drugs or alcohol or even Red Bull, you know. I know I drink too much Red Bull. That's not good for you either. Rest is good for you. Taking care of yourself, you know, exercising, you know, all of these things. Having some me time, having some downtime. These are the natural drugs that will work the best. Otherwise, it's false. And so if you do use drugs or get into that cycle, then at some point, again, you come to the same thing. The body will cut the game out.
Yeah.
And then it will impact your career most likely even more because you are hospitalized in the worst case scenario, or, you know, you completely lose your focus. You don't remember anything anymore. You know, you're not performing well because you're under the influence of drugs. You know, there's so many negatives in that. So I wouldn't, that's not a medicine in any way.
No. And how is drug culture seen behind the scenes in DJ culture? Is it accepted? Are people just kind of like it's part of parcel of, do people frown on it?
There's both sides, I think.
Yeah.
Like some, in some cases, some venues or, you know, groups or some events, how do I say, or more acceptive of it, yeah, which is kind of like, oh, this is talked about so openly, kind of, you know, it's not supposed to be so like, okay, it's still illegal and it's not good for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in some cases it's like no tolerance, which is good. And I think it should be the no tolerance, because it is not good for us. It really is, and it's all false. It's all fake energy and happiness. Like we should know ourselves that well, that we know how to have fun naturally. Like I do quite a few sober raves.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I play for a couple of brands, and it's brilliant because there I know actually another funny thing. Well, not funny thing, but I know the audience is completely genuine about their reactions to my set because everyone is sober.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous when I go and play, and I'm like, yeah, because no one is under the influence of drugs or alcohol, so it's very genuine. But also at the same time, and that's kind of made me think about this sober life and clean life and all of that, because you really know yourself so well. So you know how to have fun without having to rely on anything like alcohol or drugs. And that's beautiful.
Yeah. And it gives you a greater enjoyment of alcohol when you do have it, because it's more choice. I know, like, I go to a lot of ecstatic dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is quite similar to sober raves, you know? I mean, when people say to me, like, what is ecstatic dance? And I show them, they're like, you're weird.
I know.
It's like people in a room just dancing how they feel. The rules are no alcohol, no drugs. It's 3 hours. And it's during the day. And it is my favourite thing to do all week.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've been to those ones. And it's, again, you are so in touch with yourself. And it's that it's okay to dance, do whatever you like. And all those barriers are removed. Like then we really look into ourselves. What is stopping us from doing that? Why are we so scared of dancing silly? Or is there silly?
Yeah.
We made that word up.
Yeah.
Let's bury it.
It's expression. I find that those, exactly what you said there, I mean, they will, like the people that kind of host the ecstatic dances will say this is a form of meditation.
Yeah.
It's a form of connection with yourself. And if you choose to connect with another in dance or expression of movement, then with them as well. But you watch people go through a process. There's people in the corner crying. People like elated. It's so individual as well as collective.
It is, because they let all those emotions out which have been suppressed for so long because of these unwritten rules of society. Well, surely you cannot behave that way or that way. Don't be silly. Be calm and collected. Oh my God, this is not what dancing and music. Suppression. No, suppression. Expression. Let's give freedom to that. And that's what our culture, music culture.
I think that's what music culture, nightlife and festivals at its root is really about.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and we don't need drugs to kind of take those barriers away. We need ourselves to do that. Like let the child back out from the prison.
And environments that support it and truly support it and allow that and encourage it and bring it out, you know. Some of my favourite moments are on the dance floor. And I say that.
Me too.
You know, even last week I was telling you I was at Clockwork Orange, and I went with one of my friends, and my sister passed away 2 years ago tomorrow. And that was so cathartic for me because we used to have dance parties.
It's lovely memory.
We were young and we were like reliving. For me, I was reliving this connection and I felt so different after that experience where I obviously I'm giving it this meaning, but for me that was hugely cathartic. I didn't need to go for hours of therapy or talk to somebody about it. Was just let it out. This
is the beauty of music. It can unlock memories and take you to, like, I can remember vividly if a particular song goes on, like I'm sure you with your sister, and I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
But this experience took you back to a beautiful place.
100%.
And probably quite vividly
Yes.
as well. And that's the beauty of music. So we wouldn't, like, why aren't we talking about that rather than, oh yeah, we are off or not, that's so cool. No, music unlocking memories and creating new memories and letting yourself go and that being okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's real experience and real connection for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, and then it's real and not like, oh, I don't remember what I did, or I feel mortified and I have anxiety.
Yeah. Or like these cozy places where you're trying to watch how you dance to make sure you're fitting in or impressing somebody else.
Oh my gosh. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like, we should be able to be free.
Yeah.
There should be no rules. Like, just don't offend anyone, but,
Yes.
you know, just be free, be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, it's been amazing to have you on, Saya.
Thank you so much.
I'd love, is there anything that you want to let our viewers know on how they can like tune into your radio show or check out your gigs, where you are this summer?
Oh, yeah, if I can do a little plug.
Of course.
Not too much, but I have everything on my website. So that's www.houseofsaya.com. And you can find out about my radio show there, my upcoming gigs, because I'm organized like that. I manage my website myself too. And
Digital marketer plug.
yes. And then my social media channels, everything is there.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
It's been fun.
Awesome.